Hey, it's Chris Bowling.
Hey, it's Chris Beyer.
We are in focus today, Mr. Byer, aren't we?
Yes, we are, sir. Who do
And
we have today?
Yes, we have an honored guest today. Phil, would you like to introduce yourself as one of our strategic partners as well?
Chris, I'd be delighted. Hi, my name is Phil Holowka. I am a captive manager that works out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
Excellent.
So, Phil, what got you into captives? What started this journey for you?
Oh boy, that's a deep question there, Chris. But let me try to answer the best I can. I was more of the I want more control. If you can't measure it, you can't control it. And within the stop loss world, it's kind of challenging to really have control of the stop loss claims that a commercial carrier has their control of.
Yes.
So, but the captive itself, being a private insurance company, it's controlled and owned by the members, and that just tickles me pink.
Yes.
Yeah. So Chris and I spent a lot of time talking with our clients, with our prospective clients about, using different strategies to reduce cost on their self-funded health plan,
Yep.
to control claims, to make sure that we're addressing pharmacy and all those other things that are out there. Is captives keep coming up. We get questions on that. We discuss it. What would you say, Phil, is the health insurance captive market? What does that look like? Because there's different types of captives that exist.
Yep. So captive by definition is a private insurance company, which means the insured, the corporation, owns the captive or participates in the captive. And there's really, the market is dominated by one type of structure, and that's what's called a group captive.
Okay.
And that group captive is what's called a reinsurance captive, and it reinsures a commercial stop loss carrier. Okay. And the role of that group captive is really very much like just a purchasing group. They all collaborate together and get together and purchase stop loss.
Yeah, we hear like-minded employers a lot when we talk about that. Yep.
That's exactly right. Our structure, when we first started, we were a group captive. We were fronted by a commercial carrier. And it was very much, we felt like the tail wagging the dog. Our members wanted more control, but they were giving control to the commercial carrier. And at the end of the day, what did the members really have of substance? They didn't have much because the commercial carrier was still controlling things.
So Phil, break that down for people that don't understand this. So first part, what is fronting? What does that actually mean for our audience that probably is hearing that for the first time?
Yep. So a fronting carrier is a commercial stop loss carrier, Chris, and the captive gives all of the operations to that fronting carrier. They underwrite the policy, they issue the policy, they collect the premiums, they pay the claims, and then whatever left at the end of the year goes back to the captive.
Right.
So it does feel a lot like a traditional stop loss arrangement that you would have with a TPA, where I'm paying my premium to that stop loss carrier and I'm going to get my reimbursements, but I don't get anything back at the end of the year. So that would be what you're talking about.
From our experience,
yes,
our captive, when we were fronted, had no control of stop loss company operations.
Right.
And
so
basically, Phil, when we're talking about a group captive, what really started this interest is versus that individual company buying a bad example, a $75,000 individual specific reinsurance policy in a group. The group is saying, well, maybe we're taking a much higher or a lower amount of risk and we're buying reinsurance above that amount. And that's really what you're talking about, is that I'm buying a fronted commercial carrier to handle, once again, bad example, any claim above 250,000. Now it's going to the commercial carrier. But that first layer, all of us members are actually participating in that first layer. And that could be 250 grand, whatever that number is.
Yep. It's like a layer cake, right? The employer takes the first layer, the captive takes the next layer, and then everything above a big cost goes out. The problem with that is when you're in a group captive, there's all of us, and that's a safe comfort feeling for an employer. But our members, I'm biased, Chris, when I say this, we have the best captive members in the business. And our members said, well, geez, we want more control. We understand the risk reward, and therefore I want to have more control than what a group captive offers. I want to be our own captive. I want to own my own captive.
Right.
And that's what we bring to our clients today.
And
go ahead, Chris.
Let's talk about the cost structure of each one of those models, because I think in the commercial market, in the property casualty market, when you start your own captive, there's some pretty significant costs behind it. What I've found in the group captive model and your captive model, it's nowhere close to what it looks like on the property casualty. Like if you're insuring a oil rig in the Gulf, big cost. So help us understand kind of, what is the different cost structure of a group captive versus your captive? Because I think most people listening are thinking, man, I have to start my own captive. Well, that means I need to hire a full-time person.
All this capital.
Yeah. What does all this mean?
Yeah.
Yep. So with our captive structure, where every employer gets their own single parent captive, to turn the light switch on, hold your breath, $300. Okay. So that's the
Not
application.
$300,000.
$300, 00. But then there's capitalization, right? So every corporation, whether it's a basket weaver or a captive, you have to have startup capital.
Right.
And our startup capital is, 15% of your premium. And that capital goes into your own captive, and it sits there, and it sits as an equity on your own captive's financial statements.
Yes.
Right.
And that's a powerful differentiator from a group captive, because the financial statements are ours. They're not mine.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And that group captive really looks very similar. It is that you're not paying the $300 because you're not starting your own captive, but yet you still have to front capital. You still have to make an investment into the group, not just your own individual self.
That's right. So the common bond between a group captive and our captive structure is really, you have to invest in yourself. I mean, you can't make this a transaction. This is not a spreadsheet. And then we give you the power to invest in yourself and reap much more of a reward in what we feel is a more efficient method to issue a medical stop loss policy.
Yeah, and in certain scenarios, group captives might make sense for somebody, so we're not here to say, don't join a group captive, but
absolutely,
it's just helping the people watching. What is the difference? Because it's becoming more and more popular. 10 years ago, group captives started to, really start to show itself. And our concern, having some property casualty knowledge, is, we don't have frequency, right? We have severity on the property casualty side. Health insurance, every second of every day, there is a claim.
Yeah.
It could be a $4 drug, or it could be an inpatient stay. So, but over time, what we felt would blow up has only gotten better, is that they have figured out how to manage these better. And they have, one of the things that Chris and I get is we love getting together with similar mind organizations that one time per year and sharing ideas. And I don't care what structure we're talking about, there's value in that.
Yes. I think all the captive models, you have that, the members getting together. Ideas of what's happening around the country, different business ideas. That value is there as well. Well, Phil, we appreciate you joining us this morning in Focus, just to give a little background on the difference between what is in the captive market for stop loss.
Yeah.
Appreciate you joining.
I'm delighted to be here.
Thanks
so much.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you.